Hello, everybody. It is so good to see all of your digital non-existent faces in the chat. Welcome to the Hounds of Mercy versus Andake, episode 3, The Hunter. I am your GM and producer for the evening. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me on all of the social medias at by Connie Chang. That's BYCONNIECHANG. Before we dig our dirty little paws right into the meat of this session, let's pass around introductions to my lovely players here, starting with Dare.
What a wild... Anyway, hi everyone, I'm Dare. I am just a writer and 17 million other things, and if you'd like to know more about any of those things I do, just check me out on Twitter or TikTok at NBDare, ENBYDARE. Yeah, that's going to be nice and chill. I'm going to pass it along to Quinn.
Hello, I'm Quinn. My pronouns are they, she. Hi, hello. How's it going? How are you? How's it going? I wasn't prepared. I do lots of things. Too many things, some might say. You can learn about them on Twitter at Quintastic_. That's Quinn with 3 N's because I'm extra in a good way. Hell yeah. Humna!
Hello! Hello, my name is Humna. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. You can find me on Twitter at @shahid_, where I talk about all of the different projects that I'm a part of. And right now, actually, on this upcoming Monday, on the Follow Black Cats channel, we will be doing the finale of the Cursed Captains of Cthulhu stream. Another player and I are now rivals. One of us is trying to release Cthulhu, the other is trying not to. Who will win? We don't know, but you should come find out on Monday. But yeah, that is sort of the next thing that's coming up for me. Passing it back along to you, Connie.
Fantastic. So thank you everyone for tuning in. If you don't know what this is, welcome to Volume 1 of Andake Anthologies, which is a multi-part miniseries running alongside Transplanar RPG's main campaign, featuring an entirely new cast and everyone's favorite GM, Connie. I keep forgetting that I write that in, and I do my own horn every time. So this is Volume 1. It is the Hounds of Mercy versus Mercy's 7 evil exes and all of Andake. The basic premise of this miniseries is the Hounds of Mercy, which is everyone's favorite gay monster hunting group, are traveling Andake in the wake of the Cataclysm, which is an apocalyptic event that vanished the stars, disappeared the gods, and spawned vicious monsters in this new empty dark. And now the Hounds of Mercy are wandering the realm to bust some baddies, including their fearless leaders, terrible exes. We streamed this for 8 sequential Tuesdays, including tonight. This is the 3rd Tuesday at 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time every night. We're almost at the halfway point, so thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of 8 of the Hounds of Mercy. We do have a donation goal for this mini-series of $200 at $25, $50, $75, and $100. A random PC and or the GM will get an additional point of personal inspiration. We're already at 100 out of 200, so everyone's already gotten their personal inspiration. We're looking at our next milestone, which is $25 away. At $125, our table is going to unlock collective inspiration. At $150, our table is going to unlock an auto crit that anyone can use. And at $200, drumroll please, we get a huge lore drop by yours truly. So you can donate by using !donate or go to streamlabs.com/transplanarrpg/tip. All donations will be split evenly between the cast and crew of Hounds, as well as Camp McGeezy, which is an indigenous two-spirit-led collective of mostly queer anarchists who stand for indigenous rights and BIPOC solidarity. The folks behind Camp McGeezy are currently major leaders in the Stop Line 3 movement in Minnesota, which is where Transplanar RPG is located. So thank you to everyone who's donated so far, and thank you in advance for donating to help support these awesome players, our cast and crew, as well as Camp McGeezy. So some quick other things about Transplanar RPG. Arc 4, Episode 3 of our main campaign, which is an all-trans POC-led D&D campaign, is going to stream Saturday, October 2nd at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time right here. So follow us if you're not following us already to get notified when we go live. We've got a main campaign recap doc. We've got a podcast. We've got YouTube VODs of past streams. We've got a Patreon. Check us out. Use !Transplanar in chat to get all those links. And with that, let's move right on to the content of this episode, starting with our content warnings. Content warnings for the Hounds of Mercy versus Andake may include fantasy violence, monsters and body horror, blood and bloodletting, addiction and substance use, romance and flirting acted out on screen, references to romantic and sexual entanglements, toxic relationships, shitty people, environmental disasters, refugees and displacement, and apocalyptic events. Use !CW in chat at any time for a full list of those content warnings, and be warned, Transplanar RPG's setting is a gritty, grimdark fantasy world with a subject matter that might be quite disturbing or triggering for some viewers. So with that out of the way, let's hop right in to the session. The morning of Swan 20 breaks warm and gray across the endless horizon of Kirtal. Remnants of apocalypse linger in the sunless sky and the grief-struck mist rolling across the meadow. Horses graze on fresh spring grass, their coats shimmering with morning dew. They stand a javelin's throw away from camp. A medley of tents, bedrolls, and torches arranged in a loose periphery to ward off monsters. Amidst all this, 2 soldiers keep watch, draped in the studded leathers of the Kyrian light cavalry. They converse in hushed tones, their words escaping from their mouths in dense plumes of white fog. They discuss their leader, Captain Selim Shai, and the backs she stabbed to achieve her rank. They discuss their horses, the Ogumor, the pastures that turned black from the cataclysm. But most of all, they discuss their quarry, the herds of mismatched animals stampeding across the river valley which had burst into existence after the vanishing. They discuss reports of ranchers losing cattle to these herds, how their sheep and goats and horses enter sudden frenzies, breaking loose from their pens to join the stampede, heeding a silent siren song. They whisper about the Kagan they serve, Toktoa, and her grand plan for quelling the great herds. Their discussion, however, is cut short by a scream. Stumbling out of a tent, wearing little more than a loincloth, is Mercy, pursued by Selim. Selim's ponytail is undone, her black hairs framing her face in this pissed-off looking halo. Rage and pain burn like binary stars in the depths of her eyes as she attacks Mercy with a dagger. And Mercy dodges out of the way, quick as a flash, the hard lines of muscle on her back rippling. You see jagged scars crisscrossing her entire body, her triceps, her thighs, her neck, her sternum, and her face is twisted in this regretful and sullen grimace. And Selim keeps going at her with this dagger and is shouting, "You haven't changed at all!" Selim, let's be reasonable. But Selim just lets out another shriek and just goes for Mercy's throat. And I think at this point, the 2 soldiers are like leaving because they know better than attempt fate and get involved. And that's when Gentle, Jeron, and Sitlali, the 3 of you, are roused from slumber by the screaming of what appears to be what, from first glance, seems to be like an actual fight descending upon the campsite. Let's start with Gentle. How do you wake up and exit your tent?
Not too dissimilar from this, actually. Morning tea. Bud's probably about to take Bud on a little bit of a walk just to make sure he's comfortable with his surroundings. And I start to hear that, and I just go, "All right, Bud. We'll do a quick little walk in a second, but and I just like lift him up and put him like around my cloak."
Arf.
And yeah, let's go make sure they don't kill each other.
Gentle, sipping your tea, maybe shaking your head a bit, petting Bud as Bud's lifted into your baby Bjorn, strapped to the front of your chest. You stride forward, the fog from your tea, like casting a nice warm glow in front of your face. And now I think we're gonna let's turn to Sitlali. Sitlali, how are you roused, and how do you exit a tent?
I
think it's fair to say that Sitlali's hungover as shit. And I think they grab the nearest garment to them that fits kind of like almost like a dress, but it's a shirt that does not belong to them. And upon hearing the commotion, they just, oh, fucking Christ, can nobody keep their shit together? And I think they just kind of go out without a second thought.
Okay, Sitlali, as you stumble out of this tent, disheveled, wrapped in this robe, would you like to describe to us what you look like in this moment?
Sure. So Sitlali is currently 5'9". Let's see. Slight gray skin, shortly shorn black hair with like a steep widow's peak and like small round eyebrows. Their sclera is still black, but their irises are a bright blue with 2 pupils in each eye. And they're just covered in scars, and the most noticeable are the 2 that bisect their lip and head down towards their chest. You know, that's how Sitlali always looks, right? It's normal. That doesn't look like anyone else. Yeah.
Okay, Sitlali, as you, quote-unquote you, stumble out of this tent, we're gonna pan through the flaps of this tent and see someone else in its depths, I think. Jeron, how do you wake up and exit your tent?
Next to Oka. For the first time in a long time. Jeron, I think, is also similarly roused by the shouting at the same time as Sitlali. And Sitlali is out there in such a flurry that Jeron doesn't really have a moment to say anything or to do anything before they're out of there. And so they're just kind of like sitting up in the bed with like the blanket or the bedroll with the blanket around them, just kind of staring at Oka's back as they leave again. And so I think Jeron just kind of takes a moment to sit in that. It's kind of bittersweet, you know? Like, it's nice. But it also sucks.
What a way to start a session. Sitlali, as you stumble out of Jeron's tent, as Oka, looking around, you and Gentle both, like, your eyes fall on the commotion, which is Mercy is currently wrestling kind of reluctantly with Selim, easily able to overpower Selim, but isn't trying to hurt her, who's like trying to stab Mercy like in the gut basically with this dagger. And Mercy turns and says, there you are, Gentle. Sitlali, do you... And she freezes upon seeing you, Sitlali. And Gentle and Sitlali, the 2 of you see Mercy's like eyes just go, like her one eye, right? Just go wide. And this is so early that I don't think she has her eye patch on. And you just sort of see like her right eye is just marred with this like deep, like fleshy pink scar, and she does not have like another eye. She like her right eye is completely missing, right? And like her one good eye like flies wide, and she freezes. Oka, how did you? When did you?
Sitlali is gonna look down at themselves and think, that's why that shirt fit. And just kind of crosses their arms over their chest. I'm not here to stay, I was just here for the night. Mercy, it's nothing personal. And start to head off for the woods.
That's your play?
As you do that, Mercy calls out, Oka, wait, when did you? And in her, like, shock at seeing what she thinks is her second in command come out of Jeron's tent in the middle of the night, Selim sees an opening and stabs Mercy through the gut. And Mercy goes, ugh. as the dagger's buried into the hilt. And Selim viciously wrenches it out, and blood begins to pour down Mercy's friend, like staining her loincloth, right? God damn it, Selim. There. Much better. And feeling vindicated, Selim wipes Mercy's blood off, like, on her forearm, and turns and stalks away and starts, like, getting ready for the day, leaving Mercy just reeling in the middle of the camp, bleeding from her gut.
I go over to Mercy, and I will spend a key point and use a hand of healing.
Okay. How much do you heal?
That's 5 hit points.
All right, what does it look like?
As like always with the hand of healing, it glows with a very gentle orange, like a warm, like sort of a warm, like a campfire that's like beginning to kindle. And just like very calmly is like, "You'll be okay," and just like puts their hand on the wound, and it just slowly begins to work.
God damn it. Thank you, Gentle. This, ouch. What did you make this dagger with? Poison? Yes, as a matter of fact, yes. As Selma, like, starts shrugging on van braces and stripping on boots and trousers and whatnot. Oka, wait! Oka, stop!
Can I roll to realize who this is?
Yes. Sitlali, are you also trying to deceive Gentle?
Yes.
Okay, then it is going to be a investigation check versus your deception score.
That's not fair to me. Oh no. All right. That's a 9.
Does a 9 beat your deception, Sitlali?
Total or...
Why don't you also just roll deception and we'll use that for any investigation checks for the rest of the scene.
Okay. 40, 50, 60, 26.
I figured. You're
I
really
said,
good at
wait.
lying.
No, that's not right. What's 16 plus 8?
That's
24.
24.
24.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, what a huge difference between 24 and 26.
Very
Okay.
good disguise.
Gentle, it looks like it was Oka. And everything Oka said about coming in the middle of the night and leaving now seems to be, like, real, right? And, like, Mercy's reeling there. Oka, stop!
I'll catch up with Oka. I'm fast. I'm a monk. I can do that.
Okay. Gentle, you turn after having stabilized the wound, having sutured it back up with this glowing, like, orange hue. You turn and you stride after Sitlali.
How much of a head start am I able to get on Gentle?
Are you trying to escape Gentle and actually... There's no woods. It's Kirtal. So it's open rolling meadows. It's just the horizon around you.
Oh my god, is there a rock somewhere? Because I think the second that they walked away from Mercy, it was like 2 steps and then into a sprint looking for cover somewhere so that they can change back.
Listen, the only cover here are, like, tents and, like, really small boulders that are only big enough for you to sit on. And, like, because it's, like, a freaking plateau. Like, where you are, it's the middle of, it's just, like, flat horizon to your west, flat horizon to the east.
Hell, I'm in hell. I guess I will, in that case, I will try to duck behind some tents, because I don't know how long it takes a changeling to change. I don't think
it takes
it's
one action.
One
which
action,
I'm going to roll
okay.
as 6 seconds.
Okay, that's fair. So I think they'll probably duck, and depending on the amount of tents, do like a zigzag formation to try and make it not... They are trying to find a place to hide.
Okay. Roll stealth against Gentle's... against Gentle's, I guess, like, tracking, which I guess would be either perception or survival, your choice.
Okay.
God.
Also, if that dagger was poisoned, I did forget. With Hand of Healing, I can now also end a condition. So something like poisoned, I could absolutely heal when I did that.
Yeah, totally. I think you were able to draw out whatever poison was embedded in the jab. And now we all see, like, as Mercy's just standing there in the middle of the campsite, like a little bit of like green venom also leaks out of the wound, being leached out, pulled out by your magic, right? As well as this red blood. So Gentle and Sitlali, what do the two of you get?
I'll let Quinn go first this time.
Oh boy. 21. Can you beat that?
It's unfortunate that I only got a 24. Isn't that funny how fate works out?
Ooh. So why don't you describe to me what happens, Gentle?
I know acutely as well as everyone here that things have been tense. Things have been a lot more tense since Oka left, since everyone left. So of course the idea is if I can get a chance to talk to Oka, then it means I can potentially help fix this for everyone. Not just for me, but Jeron's been sad. Everyone's been tense. So I just sort of go as fast as I can over there. And yeah, I am single-mindedly focused on this.
And Sitlali, what does Gentle see as they round a corner and you're hunkered behind this tent?
I don't think they remembered to grab any other clothes. So they've got Jeron's shirt. And, fuck it, we're already in hell. Okay, so, I think they just I think Gentle rounds the corner to a slightly shorter version of Sitlali, and, like, the hair is not quite right. It's a little bit, like, one side is longer than the other. Wearing Jeron's shirt and ripping the tent nearest to them because they are not wearing pants. And just cursing under their breath in Raven speech, like. And I think they're too panicked to notice you. Even with that passive, like, I don't think they notice you. Because they are freaking out about a lot right now.
Sitlali?
And I think they freeze at that.
Hey. Can I ask a question?
That depends.
I'm going to be an optimist real quick and ask, do you know where Oka went?
I mean, we've been looking for Oka the whole time, so I know as much as anybody.
Okay. So is Oka a new mask for you then?
Sitlali freezes for a hot minute, and then I think goes back to frantically trying to fashion some sort of pants, but not pants, out of just ripping at this tent.
I lean down and I whisper, I have some spare clothes. I'll say I lost you.
Thanks.
And I go and do that.
You leave Sitlali to their own devices. You round the corner of the tent, and Mercy is sort of like hobbling past you, like to see where Oka is gone. Is that where they went? Where do they? This is a goddamn.
Hey! First off, I don't know if I got all of the poison out, so you should relax. But also, I wasn't fast enough.
What do you mean you weren't fast enough? Unless they learned how to teleport, there's no way they're not still here.
I mean, we've all gotten stronger. Who knows?
Well, it's okay. I'm resistant to poisons. Just let me. And Mercy's gonna try to shove past you to get to where Sitlali is. Gentle, do you let her?
Nope, I've already committed to this. Mercy, I really think you should rest.
Are you kidding me, Gentle? What's going on here? What aren't you telling me? What's happening? Where did Oka go?
Oka's not here.
What do you mean Oka's not here? I saw them disappear right here, right behind Jeron's tent.
They're not here.
Are you trying to lie to Mercy or just like shut down the conversation and not necessarily do it through deception per se?
I am legally not telling a lie.
Okay. I mean,
Oka's
fair.
not here. This is why Dare doesn't play rogues, because I'd be a monster.
Gentle, you and I both saw, clear as Galtinger, Oka exiting Jeron's tent, saying they were just here for the evening and that they were going to leave, and obviously neither of us can let that happen. So unless you'd like to tell me what you're hiding, I'd like to get past you.
Oka isn't here, and it's not the evening, so they're stubborn and a person of their word, and they're not here.
This is ridiculous. And Mercy's going to try to muscle past you, I think. Are you going to physically stop her?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a grapple check, I think. So since you're the grappler, that's going to be an athletics check versus either her athletics or acrobatics.
This is not going to end well, but here we are.
I'm going to tell you straight up, it's going to be athletics for her.
Oh, this is the price I pay of being a good friend. Oh my god. That was a nat 20, so that's a 22.
A nat 20, but with only a +2?
Yeah. I'm a dex build.
God. Should I let
But
you have
it's a
it?
nat 20, Connie!
I know. Okay, you know what? I will honor.
I could say I'm a distraction.
Okay, I will honor the nat 20. You put every ounce of your focus and your energy into stopping Mercy from seeing Sitlali transform back into herself. And Mercy is like shoving at you, but you're like getting between her. She's like, stop, Gentle, stop. I don't want to hurt you, right? But you're distracting her, right? More so than actually physically stopping her. And she seems reluctant to actually like injure you or put you in harm's way to get to Oka. But her frustration... Yes, and Bud, and to hurt Bud. But her frustration is mounting throughout this sequence. And I think all of the sounds of Mercy being like, Gentle, get out of the way. Stop. Stop stepping on my toes. Stop it. And you, Bud, shove. And she's like trying to like shove this like wolf out of the way. And that's when, Jeron, you hear all of this, I think, because you're in the tent that Sitlali is trying to hack pieces away. Like pieces out of to like fashion pants.
I think Jeron comes out of the hole that Sitlali has made, and finds Sitlali there, like half changed, half not changed. Sitlali, what are you doing to my tent?
This is perfect. And I think they just barrel past you into the tent and get on their usual outfit and armor.
Sitlali, hold on. Where are you going? Why are you in such a hurry?
Mercy saw me.
Mercy saw.
Yeah.
Like as.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say to Mercy?
I said I was just here for the night and that I was leaving now.
You. Mercy thinks Oka was here?
I panicked. Okay, I fucked up. I panicked.
How are we going to explain how I found Oka and managed to bring them into my tent for one night? I've been trying very hard to find Oka, and I've made it very clear that I don't know where they are.
Yeah, no, and you don't, and I don't. No one does. I think that Oka found us. Oka found us. Oka found us and walked into your tent, and The evening pursued as it did, which was,
Okay. Look, neither of us wants, I think, Mercy to find out about this. We don't have to talk about what happened yesterday. So I think sure.
Was it good for you? Though?
I can pretend. Yeah, I can pretend.
Was that a real or a?
Was what?
Was it good for you?
Yeah. I hope the same for you. Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna go and talk to Mercy because I think I need to explain why Oka has suddenly destroyed my tent. So
how was my impression?
For the purpose of the audience, would you like to give an Oka impression, Quinn?
No.
Valid. I'm not gonna make you. I mean, you looked just like them. You sounded just like them. So I guess, good, just the eyes. They're not... And Jeron kind of like walks up to Sitlali and puts his hand on Sitlali's cheek, like caressing it a little bit. There's a lot more darkness in your eyes than there was in Oka's.
Yeah, well, I can't really fix that.
What if we could?
First, let's make sure Mercy doesn't kill us. Yeah, and I think they pull away from you.
Yeah, right. Mercy. Okay. I don't think we should come out of the same side of the tent.
No.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Break.
I'll be
and then Jeron just kind of walks out the back of the tent.
I think Sitlali is going to play asleep.
In the tent?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, so hold on, Quinn, I need to ask. So then, are you suggesting that Sitlali was there the whole time?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sure. That's something that Jeron can explain. Yep, okay.
Sitlali is the sleeper.
I walk out.
Okay, Jeron, you walk out the back of the tent to see the moment when Mercy finally breaks free of Gentle's grasp, right? And Mercy shoves Gentle aside, right? Bud lets out an antagonistic yip, and Mercy basically smacks right into you, right? As you come out, Mercy rounds the corner and you bump into each other, and you see that she's got blood down her front. She's topless. She's just wearing a loincloth, and her loincloth is just stained with blood and some green looking venom. But Jeron, where's Oka? Why was Oka in your tent last night? Why didn't you tell me?
Hold on. Mercy, what happened to you?
Selim stabbed me. It's fine.
Why did Selim stab you? I thought you resolved all of that yesterday.
It's not a big... She came to my tent last night and we talked.
She did what now?
Speaking of midnight rendezvous.
No, you don't get to turn this around on me. Hold on. And Jeron is trying very hard to distract from the conversation. No, hold on. You don't get to bypass that. Selim came to your tent last night.
Yes, she did. We had a lot of stuff that's unspoken and unresolved between us. I thought we would put things to bed, so to speak.
I'm sure you did put things to bed.
We did. Why was Oka in your... When did Oka?
Yeah, huh?
Why was Oka in your... When did they come? Why were they here? Where did they go?
Cotton Eye Joe. No. Sorry.
What is a Cotton Eye Joe? You're not making any sense, Jeron.
Look, I didn't know that Oka was going to come into my tent. If I'm being
they were
perfectly
here.
honest with you, Mercy, they just showed up, okay, in the middle of the night, and I didn't ask that many questions. You understand. I didn't It wasn't the first thing I wanted to do, was ask all of these questions. And before I knew it, by the time I woke up, they were gone. I know as much as you do.
The hell are you talking about? And Mercy's gonna push past you and look into the hole, where she sees Sitlali sleeping? What? Why is Did the three of you...
No. Sitlali was asleep the whole time. They are a very deep sleeper.
Okay. I need the three of you to make a group deception check. Okay?
Technically, that's not a lie. Sitlali is a very deep sleeper.
This is a ruse.
Helping you.
This whole thing is a ruse, and I need you all to make a group deception check. And I'm taking the lowest check as the result for this overall lie.
I got a 17, so that's not too bad.
Gentle.
I'm furious. The dice are helping you all.
What about Sitlali?
Listen, I mean, it's not technically a lie that...
Don't tell me you got a nat 1.
I have a +8 to it, though.
You got
a nat 1?
No!
You know what?
Listen, for fairness' sake, because I honored Gentle's nat 20, I have to honor the nat 1, despite the +8.
Good. Justice stands today.
It would have been hilarious if this lie stood for the rest of the campaign, though. There is a pregnant pause. And Mercy, slowly, lowers her hand from, the hole, right? The tent flap, that's it, Lolly carved open. Turns to face you, Jeron. And Gentle in the back with Bud and the baby Bjorn. Jeron. Why don't you tell Sitlali to get dressed? I'll meet you all by the horses.
Yes, the horses, of course. And I think Jeron just silently goes back into the tent from the way that they came. Yes, Sitlali, I don't think that worked.
What part of any of that was unbelievable?
Probably the part about you being here.
Why didn't you just lie and say we had a threesome? That'd be more believable, probably.
Is that better? Is that really better?
Honestly, she probably wouldn't have asked as many questions.
Okay, well, you know what? What's done is done, so maybe we should all just...
You're the one who said Oka when I said who do you want me to be? So, I mean, is it really... It's not entirely my fault.
You asked the question! Who asked that question?
Things do!
I have never been asked that question before.
Well, you sure did answer it pretty quickly.
If you didn't want the answer, why did you ask me, Sitlali? Things were going to happen regardless.
What?
What?
Things were gonna happen regardless.
I think you should get dressed.
Not until you answer my question.
Yes?
There's a question mark at the end of that answer?
Yes.
Okay, and they just start getting dressed.
I think Jeron takes their pack and just exits the tent very awkwardly.
Okay. Okay. I think, the next couple hours pass, because this is like early morning, with the three of you getting dressed, eating the breakfast that the other Kyrian soldiers are cooking up over this open fire, maybe tearing down your tent, loading up the horses on the Kyrian soldier side, right? Getting dressed, freshening up, brushing your teeth, fixing your hair. And amidst all of this, I think, we find Jeron. With your pack having left your own tent, maybe getting ready in your own little corner of the campsite, you're rifling through your pack when I think you find something that wasn't there before.
What is it?
I think you find... I want you to tell me, where do you find this object amongst your things?
I think... probably there's a section of Jeron's pack where they keep kind of little mementos and memories of home, essentially, and of all the different places they've been, of the people they've met, that kind of thing. Just little things here and there. There's maybe some threads, maybe an old snack that is in its in its wrapping that hasn't quite been opened. The things like that. So I think there's maybe a section of that. So it's not a part of their pack that they go to often. It's usually, a section that they open when they're maybe wanting to reminisce or feeling kind of nostalgic or want to add something to that part. So yeah, maybe a little pocket somewhere.
Okay, I think you're very frazzled from everything that's been going on. So maybe your movements are automatic as you're checking everything and putting things back in. When you feel something that wasn't in your memory pocket before, it's kind of sticking out of it, actually, at an odd angle, the corner of what appears to be some sort of box, maybe.
I will pick up the box and examine it.
It is a cigarette box. So it's not made of wood or anything, but rather of reinforced paper. And it's a kind of cigarette box that Oka would smoke all the time. And it's rather crumpled on the sides and looks well worn.
Does anybody else on the Hounds smoke?
No, well, not this kind.
Okay. Does there appear to be anything odd about this box?
It's not new. It's used. The seal is broken and it's slightly open.
I will open it and look inside.
You pop open the top of the cigarette pack, and inside you see only a single cigarette. And also rolled up as neatly as the cigarette itself is a note right next to the cigarette.
Jeron is going to carefully take the note out of the box and unfurl it to read what's written on it.
The first thing you notice as you pull out this crumpled piece of kind of yellowed parchment is that it's stained with blood. It looks to be fairly fresh. It's not years and years old, maybe only a couple weeks to a month or two old at this point. And when you unfurl it, in Oka's handwriting, are the words, "Coming back for this," signed O with a slash through it.
I think Jeron finds this note and starts turning it over, trying to see is there something written on the back or...
Nope, it's just the blood. It's just,
and there's nothing else inside the box, no secret compartment, no other notes, no...
You can make an investigation check on the secret gift that apparently Oka slipped you while you didn't notice.
Let's do that. 21.
There's nothing else. No hidden compartment, no little thing at the bottom of the box. A 21 investigation check tells you it's just a cigarette, it's just the blood, and it's just the message.
I think Jeron, maybe he's sitting by the fire at this point, sort of took a squat to go through his pack. He sits there reading the note over and over again. Coming back for this. Coming back for this. Coming back for this. And I think it just, that kind of repeats in their head as like this mantra. And it really hammers home that Oka did not come back for this. Like, when was this note written? When did they leave this for me? Was it, presumably it was when the first time they left, right? When, before the cataclysm happened, when they promised that they would come back. Probably then, right? But they didn't come back. And I think Jeron starts to get a little angry and like considers throwing all of this just into the fire in front of him. And like has rolled up the note, stuffed it back in the box, and is like about to do that. And then he can't. And they're just kind of, and like just sitting there kind of like fumbling with it in their hand, just thinking about coming back for this. Coming back for what? When?
And how is it also stacking up with the interaction you just had with Sitlali last night and this morning?
I think it makes Jeron feel embarrassed, honestly. Like, here is Jeron, being who they are, waiting for Oka to come back, holding on to this promise that they made, that they would come back, that this time it was just for a little while. It was not like that. In their words, it's not like that. And they would come back. They didn't leave because they wanted to leave me. They left because they had to, right? Right? And all of this time, Jeron has been holding on to that and trying to find Oka so desperately, but maybe not. Maybe Oka was lying the whole time. Maybe they changed their mind. Maybe they didn't actually care about Jeron the way that he thought that they did. And so the fact that he told Sitlali to be Oka last night, that feels embarrassing. And also that hurt Sitlali probably. And so I think Jeron is like guilty and embarrassed all at the same time.
Yikes. Okay. Wow, yeah, all right. You're sitting there considering this cigarette, this note, this blood, and the rest of the camp gets ready. They pack up. They start tearing down the tents, start getting ready for the backup, the supplies to come, the rest of the cavalry to come in, so to speak. And I think they do. I think the three of you, Mercy included, soon hear and feel the earth rumble under your feet as galloping hooves approach from the east. You see a little cloud getting kicked up in the distance, and a convoy of maybe 10 or 15 Kyrian soldiers on horseback start like approaching the campsite, and you're able to see them from like at least 3 miles out because like the horizon is so flat and there is like no mountains, no hills, no valleys to obstruct your view. And soon, like the neighing of horses, the pounding of hooves, the smell of earth and dust getting kicked into the air suffuses your nostrils as these 10 or 15 riders like slow down as they approach the campsite and they start to encircle the camp. And you see, strapped to some horses' backs are just like, they're just like pack horses, right? They've got like tents, they've got like supplies, they've got provisions, everything that your group was promised in exchange for telling Selim Shai what you did about Paragons coming back. And at this point, Selim Shai is completely back, in her furs and in her studded leather armor. She's back on top of like one of her horses, and Mercy's completely dressed again. She's got like her tunic on, her leather armor, right? Her eye patch is on. She's cleaned the blood off of her body. She looks like regular old Mercy, and she's got her greatsword strapped to her back and a series of javelins also strapped to her back and her waist. And it's like this that you see and you hear these soldiers like enter. They start to like dismount from their horses and like sort of toss you, like your group sort of like unceremoniously like various tents to replace your messed up and now pants cut out tents in terms of Sitlali. and the other supplies that have broken, such as, let's say, like cook's utensils, any like parchments that might have like burned up from being thrown into the fire by this like galloping herd last night, etc., etc., etc. As you're accepting the provisions and like scrolls and supplies, etc., Mercy is gonna turn to one of the people who's handing you all this stuff and say in common, "So, any news, anything else you can tell us? Or is it just supplies?" And this person turns and sort of addresses Mercy, but also like cocks like her bearded face and sort of like addresses the rest of you as well. Yeah, a lot of things have been happening. I hear from Captain Shy that the four of you are just traveling through Kirtal. Where are you headed? East, toward the chasm. The chasm? Not a lot of family out in the chasm. Why the chasm? None of your business. All right. I was just making conversation. I was just asking. You know, there's been a lot of hubbub about Davathati. Riots, rages happening. Riots? Rages? What do you mean? Oh, no big deal now anymore. A group of heroes stopped it all. Haven't you heard? Here's their faces. And they pull down a flyer from one of the horses and they hand it to Mercy. And all of you see an artist's rendering of, written in common, the heroes of Davathati. There are 4 people in this picture. One of them is a pigeon-like Aarakocra man who looks really dirty. Even the artist's rendering like made him look real dirty and oil-stained, right? And then an elven woman. With these like long ears and this kind of like charismatic smile, dressed in this vest with this tie on. And you also see a gigantic, she's like huge, even bigger than Mercy probably, half-orc woman with dark skin and these like braids done up in like a bun that go down her back. And she's got this big axe slung across her shoulders. And then, the very corner of this picture, the 4 of you see Oka. And Mercy freezes upon receiving this flyer.
Mercy?
Yes, gentle?
I don't suppose that's a different a branch of the Hounds of Mercy?
No. No, that's not. Thank you for this news. That'll be all. And Mercy starts like, she crumples up this flyer and stuffs it into her pocket.
That's Oka. There's no way that's anyone else. That is Oka.
Well, what would you know about what is really Oka?
Ignoring that, we have to go to Davathati. We have to.
No, we're headed to the Euclid for reasons of our own, Jeron. We're going where the water tells us to go.
But we know now where Oka is. Surely we could make some sort of detour, a stop, just to see.
Davathati is past the chasm on the other side of the Godspine.
You were awfully interested in speaking to Oka this morning when you thought that they were here. We could go and talk to them for real.
When I thought that they were here, but obviously they were not.
No, they weren't. That's true. And I think Jeron just kind of takes a step back and like remembers the note and the cigarette box and the night with Sitlali, and still marinating in the feelings of embarrassment and guilt, kind of like reels it back and realizes Oka chose what they made their decision. They chose to leave. They chose not to contact any of us. They chose not to come back. Maybe we should just let them.
Gentle, Sitlali, how are the two of you responding to all of this?
I mean, I'd still like to hear them out. We owe them that much, especially after everything that happened today. Maybe it would be healthier for us to talk to them and address our feelings. Kind of look down for a little bit and hope maybe Sitlali or someone will back me up. Sitlali, do you have an opinion? You're very quiet. Oh no. Oh, this is bad energy. Mercy, why don't we want to go potentially see Oka?
Because they've made their choice. I feel like a broken record. They left. They're not coming back. We go where the water takes us.
When's the time you did the ritual?
Couple days ago. Why? Maybe a week.
Do it again.
Okay. And Mercy sort of looks at these, cavalry folk who are quirking their heads very curiously as you're talking, and she jerks her head so you go to like a secluded area and like do the ritual in private, right? So while like amidst all the hubbub of tents getting taken down, of Captain Shy meeting up with this like a group of riders, you hunker down behind like a larger boulder of all boulders considered, and Mercy takes out this leaf she's been carrying with her this entire time. She places it very gently, like flat on like this grass. She takes out this vial of like glowing water from Unme, from the Umaori Lake. She uncorks it and she very gently and carefully, with more care than you've seen her handle anything else in your life probably, dribbles a drop of water onto the leaf and quickly corks it back up. And all of you like lean over it and like stare at the water for a minute. And then the water sort of starts quivering and jiggling, and then it starts to move. It turns to point west toward the Euclid, and then it pauses and then moves ever so slightly a little bit farther to the south, which is different from how it's moved in past weeks. Mercy stares down at this water droplet, and all of you stare down at it as well. And I think the realization sinks in to the group in that moment that the water is pointing toward Davathati.
Oh, fuck.
And on that, we're going to cut to a break. We will be back in 10 minutes with the traveling to Davathati and figuring all that stuff out. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back in 10. It is 2 until 8 here, so we'll be back around 8:08. Yeah? From break. We love you all so much. Enjoy the fan art reel. Stick around for 10 minutes. Tell your friends about us, and we'll be back with more disaster queers. Speech. See you in 10. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Hounds of Mercy, which is volume 1 of Andake Anthologies. Before we hop right back into the session, a reminder of content warnings if you're new to this session. Content warnings for the Hounds of Mercy and for Transplanar RPG in general may include fantasy violence, monsters and body horror, blood and bloodletting, addiction and substance use, romance and flirting acted out on screen, references to romantic and sexual entanglements, toxic relationships, shitty people, environmental disasters, refugees and displacement, and apocalyptic events. Use !CW at any time in chat to get a list of these content warnings, because wow, is this series full of shitty people and bad decisions. Let's go. Except for Gentle. Let's hop right back into the session. So, Jeron, Gentle, and Sitlali. The journey to Davathati is lengthy and arduous. Soon, the long, rolling fields of Kirtal give way to the Euclid Chasm. A massive wound in the flesh of Andake, a canyon yawning from the gloomy depths of the Godspine, all the way up to the frost-bitten banks of Morose. In an uncharacteristic gesture, Mercy makes your party stop right at the jagged edge of the chasm. The Euclid here is so wide that you can't see the other side. It's just the gray light of the sunless sky above you, a vast expanse of dead grass behind you, and a gaping gulf in front of you, sucking all light into its bottomless depth. If you peer over the edge, you'll see several hundred feet plunging down of ragged rock, narrow landings, and spiny bushes until the darkness takes over. A dense fog obscures its distant shore, giving you the impression that you've reached the end of the world, where life stops rendering and everything plummets into shadow, space, light, even time itself. And here, at the edge of the world, is where Mercy kneels. She pulls out incense, she pulls out a trophy from a monster hunt, and a handful of teeth. She sets these offerings against this frost-packed earth and whispers a prayer. And then she moves on. And your party keeps traveling. And I think when you set up camp that night on the edge of the Euclid Chasm, following its curvature south toward the Godspine, and then eventually toward the Heavenly Road, which you'll take all the way into Davathati, I think we find our party at a moment of rest in camp. Specifically, I think we find ourselves in the flickering flames of this fire pit that's been erected with stones marking its perimeter. On one side of the fire is Mercy, examining a blade in her hand. And sitting next to Mercy is Jeron.
If I may, instead of sitting next to Mercy, can I walk up to her?
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm thinking that Jeron shows up with 2 bottles of alcohol in one hand, kind of like precariously held by the neck, and a javelin in the other. Walks over to Mercy.
Her emotional support javelins.
They walk over to Mercy, place the javelin at her feet, and say, "A peace offering."
Did you make this? It's shitty. Thanks.
Well, I don't have as much practice as you.
Obviously.
And then Jeron sits down and sort of hands... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Jeron then sits down next to her and hands her the other bottle.
Yeah, she takes the javelin, takes the bottle, and I'm assuming, can it be a bottle of beer or something?
Yeah,
maybe that you picked up from a trader. And she breaks it open, right? She makes a fist and breaks it open on her own fist. The top of this bottle, and it starts fizzing up, and she drinks it, and the alcoholic foam is dribbles down her front a little bit. She wipes her mouth and sets the bottle back down. Ever been out here before, Jeron? Out to the Euclid?
I can't say I've had the pleasure.
All sorts of monsters in its shadows, Jeron. All sorts of beasts that have never seen the light of day.
Has it always been like this, even before the Cataclysm?
Before the Cataclysm. Before Andake was Andake.
You seem to know a lot about this area. How old are you again, Mercy?
Should never ask a woman her age, Jeron. I'm 49.
You could have fooled me.
How old did you think I was? Answer correctly.
I was thinking maybe 238, somewhere around that ballpark.
All right, you cheeky bastard.
Look, the truth is, I was here to say I'm sorry.
You apologize to me? I guess the apocalypse really is here. Why?
Well, and I think Jeron kind of like leans back a little bit, takes a big swig of their drink. You were right about a lot of things, and you'll never hear me say this ever again, so you best relish it now while you can, but I've been chasing after something that I shouldn't be.
Finally coming to terms with Oka, huh?
I guess we can call it that. I mean, it seems like they came to terms with a lot of things a long time ago and never told me about it.
Yeah, they have a penchant for doing that, I think. Look, we've all got sordid pasts. We've all got backstories that are sad and tragic and full of grief and violence. But Oka has a special way of coming out on the other side feeling like the main character.
Something tells me that I'm not the only one that they've hurt here.
Hurt. I'm not hurt. I'm just disappointed.
All right there, Mom. You can admit that you're hurt, Mercy. It's fine. I don't care.
There's nothing to admit, and I'm not a mom. I refuse to have children.
That's saying a lot, given that you started this band. I know.
Are you saying you see me as a mother figure?
I don't, but I know that you sometimes see us like children.
Well, there's a difference between seeing you as children and seeing you as my children. Little parasites.
Yeah, Mercy, all right. All I'm saying is you make an awful mother.
You're telling me. No, I'd never want to be a mother. The expectations you'd have to have for your kids, the inevitable disappointment, the arguments, cleaning their shitty butts. No thanks. Listen.
I want to argue with you, but I can't.
I know. What argument is there to be had? Children suck. I'd know I was a kid once. I sucked. Listen, Jeron. You're too good for Oka. You deserve someone better. Someone who's there for you. Someone who understands you. Someone who won't leave you.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that, but I do know that chasing after them isn't worth it. So, all right, wherever you want to go, I'll follow. The Hounds are my family.
I'll drink to that. You clink bottles, and you drink. And I think as Mercy puts the bottle down, on that motion, we're going to transition to a next couple of nights of travel. We see, the Hounds trekking south along this rugged mouth of the Euclid. We see just the vistas, the sunless light rising and falling and rising and falling as we still see the four silhouettes of our heroes backlit against this, sunless dawn and the sun and the moon. There's never been moons. I always mess up on that. And the starless dusk of Andake. You continue to walk until we reach another night. Another camp is erected, another fire struck, another evening where I think Mercy, as always, is sitting by the fire. But this time, it's not Jeron who approaches. It's Gentle.
Of course, I have Bud and my little baby Bjorn. Probably some tea. I have a second mug just in case. Hi. Is it okay if I sit over here too?
Yeah. Go ahead, pop a squat. People love sitting next to me and talking about their feelings, I guess.
Fair enough. Then I suppose I will do the same. And I sit down. Um, and I offer her a cup of tea as well. Would you like some?
Yeah, sure, why not? She takes the cup, pulls out a flask of brandy and pours it into the tea. Ruining the palate of it, and she tucks the flask back in and starts sipping her tea.
I really need to adjust for your drinking preferences.
Yeah, next time just give me maybe a third of a cup of tea.
Fair enough. I want to say I'm sorry first off. Sorry.
Is the world upside down, or is everyone apologizing to me this week? Why are you sorry?
To be fair, you get mad at me for apologizing all the time, but I'm sorry for getting in your way with the whole everything that happened. I didn't want to stop you, but I didn't want you to get mad.
It's fine. Gentle, never apologize for doing what you think is right, even though it sometimes really freaking annoys me and pisses me off. Listen, you were just doing what you thought would help mend the situation. I don't blame you.
Yeah. They had the same fear in their eyes that you did when you thought Unmeg was gonna get hurt really badly, and I just knew I had to help. There was, that's what I do. But I wanted to ask a question. Hopefully this isn't gonna come across as too personal or an attack.
Are you sure? There are babies in our vicinity, and she indicates Bud.
Oh, Bud's great. Bud and I, sort of discussed emotionality a decent amount.
Arf! Which Gentle means, I'm emotionally vulnerable and open.
You sure do, Bud. You sure are. Well, Bud is the best. Oh my. Do you ever feel lonely, Mercy?
Do I ever feel lonely? What kind of a question is that?
Do you?
I think Mercy actually falls silent for a minute and sips at her tea and then sets it back down and says, yeah, I do. Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm used to being alone a lot, but this is, I don't know, recently I felt a new kind of lonely, which is lonely around other people a lot. I think everything's been really tense, and I wish I could help more, but I just don't know what to do. But everyone just feels closed up in little boxes, and I can't help.
Gentle, you don't always have to help other people all the time. Sometimes you just need to help yourself. Look after your own.
I mean, I'm looking after me and Bud, of course, but I mean, you are all my family too. And when you are all closed up, I feel closed up too, because I can't talk about my feelings super well. I've never really been. I'm not good at talking through this as much, but I feel good when I know my family's feeling good. So I've been feeling really bad.
Gentle, it's not the first time the thought has crossed my mind that we really don't deserve you. Listen, This is a hard time for everyone. I know how it feels to be lonely when you're with someone. For them to be trapped in their own thoughts, their own feelings, their own delusions of grandeur, or what they think they want their life to be, and it's something that you're not a part of. I know how that feels. It's not a great feeling. You know how I deal with it? I don't look at it as loneliness. I look at it as freedom. At the end of the day, when you die, when the Raven Queen claims your soul, even if you're surrounded by family, that journey is when you have to take alone. So the sooner you get being used to this feeling of being by yourself, better off you are, I think. It's just the two of us, Gentle. You don't have to raise your hand.
It's force of habit. That feels not healthy, actually. If you're gonna be spending, if the last part it's alone, then why wouldn't you fill everything up with that before the alone part, with friends and family and people, love, and like Mercy? You've had so many people who like you and love you and want to know you, and why do you run away from that? I can't get that at all. And
do you see any of my lovers with me right now?
No, but it seems like if you're always ready to lose your heart, that doesn't help them stay.
Well, it sure makes it easier when they leave.
Is that why you don't want Oka to come back?
What I want about Oka is irrelevant. How I feel about them doesn't control anything. I could want them to come back. I could scream and beg and plead and cry every night. They're still not going to come back.
You could admit you want that. That might at least help you feel a little bit better.
What? Admitting that I'm a sorry sack of shit will make me feel better about being a sorry sack of shit?
I care about my friends, and I don't think that makes me... I'm not going to repeat those words.
No. That doesn't make you a sorry sack of shit, Gentle. But I know who I am. I know what I am. I know what I'm capable of. And it's not someone who's soft and kind and cares about other people and how they're feeling like you do. And that's who you are. That's what makes us different. And that's fine. Maybe that's why it's harder for you to feel lonely than it is for me.
Mercy, I want to make something a little clear. It's not that I don't know how to hurt and beat in heart. I can do it in equal measure, and I think I like essentially with channel enough ki to have the green hand of harm and the orange hand of healing. I as easily as I could have I took the poison out of you, I could have put more in. I could choose to be mean and hurt people every day, but I don't like that. I don't want that. And I'm very lonely. I've been alone most of my life. Jeron was the only person who really liked or talked to me for so long. And you fill your life with so many people who like you, and you run away from that, and it makes me a little upset and frustrated because they clearly still want to know you in some way. And I think maybe you could address that in a way that doesn't involve pretending they don't exist when you can't look at them.
Wow. You know, I gotta hand it to you, Gentle. It's impressive that You come to me with problems, but you end up trying to fix mine. I think that's a testament to just how open your heart is. You know, I worry for you too, Gentle. I worry that these doors of your heart that you keep open all the time, what do you let in? What gets out?
I think I just sort of sit with that kind of question for a little bit, which is pretty uncharacteristic for Gentle. They normally at least can respond with something. They're like, I don't know. I just want our friends to be okay. I just want all of us to just like each other, and I want people to smile more and be happier again. And I don't know. And I just sort of
and
plump
Mercy
down
gives you like,
dejected.
I think in response she gives you this really big, forced, like orcish grin. Does that make you feel better, Gentle?
A little bit.
Bud shrinks away and whimpers as she like
No.
looms forward.
She's
Cheer
just
up,
like
Gentle.
that.
Cheer
It's
up.
okay. She's just like that. You're good. I just like. Can I roll animal handling to make sure Bud's okay?
Oh, Bud's fine. Bud's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, they're totally fine. Yeah, you don't have to
Gotta
roll for
make
it.
sure. Gotta check on Bud.
Yeah, totally.
Bud is the most important character.
Absolutely, 100% in this entire campaign. She sits back on like this rock she's perched on, lets out this big laugh, and thumps you kind of hard on the back and says, gods, yeah, you know the world's gone to the dogs when you come to me for help, when you come to me for insight or some sort of emotional regulation. Listen, Gentle, you're a great person. Fuck anyone who thinks otherwise. You know, when we get to Davathati, maybe I'll help you get laid. Maybe that'll help. I know a couple of great places where you can meet some great people.
Like, I'm not a get. No. I'd rather. It should be healthier. Also, no, I'm good.
Yes, Sitlali. Oh, you were raising your hand. Were you volunteering to help Gentle out? I just saw you raise your hand. Okay. Never mind. I think on that, Mercy laughs, right? And like the embers die down in the campfire, right? And I think that scene sort of like fades out from that. And we see another like montage as after like the lights come down, lights coming back up of travel, right? Following the Euclid, heading south toward the god spine, sunless sky, getting bright and then getting dark and then getting bright and then getting dark again until we find, I think, another evening where I think we see Sitlali. Sitlali at camp. What are you up to when Gentle approaches?
I imagine it's quite late, as it tends to be with Sitlali in particular. And I think it's probably their watch, and they're probably not doing a very good job at it, and just kind of shuffling her cards absently in thought and like vaguely keeping an eye on things, but you know. Oh, hey. You.
Hi. Bud's sleeping. I can't really. So, is it okay if I hang out for a little bit?
Yeah, totally.
And I think I sit down near, and I think I do have some tea, as always, to offer. Would you like some?
Is it spiked?
No, of course not.
Then no, thank you.
Fair enough. I'll leave it just within arm's reach for both of us, just in case. How are you doing?
Fine, why?
It feels like a lot happened with there, and I don't know.
How are you?
I mean, I did talk to Mercy, so I feel a little better, but also
Wait, what?
not about that in particular.
No, like you feel better after talking to Mercy?
A little. I think I got a little. Mercy's Mercy, but sometimes their tough love or her tough love really works on me.
Huh.
But
Wild.
yeah, I mean, I see the best out of everyone, the brightest out of everyone, Mercy included. She is Mercy, but she cares. But more importantly, I want to see how you're doing. Are you okay? Did you want to be Oka?
And I think they set their cards down on like the log or whatever next to them and just kind of sit back and stare up at the ugly, empty sky. Yes and no. Everybody gives a fuck about Oka. Everybody wants to know where the fuck Oka is. Oka this, Oka that. That's all you fucking hear. Mercy can't name a fucking second because they're not over Oka. Jeron can't move on because they're not over Oka. Nobody is over Oka.
I understand that.
Did you know there's a shortcut over there that if you hit it with your fan, it mutes you? Because I did that on accident.
Oh no.
Um, not that Gentle, nobody would give a shit if I left.
I would.
You get over it though.
What makes you think that?
You're the most well-adjusted person here.
Am I?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't know if that's a safe way to compare things, because I think we're all hurt in our own ways. I think you all are just better at showing it. No offense.
None taken, I guess. There is clearly some taken.
I understand the feeling about Oka, but if any of you, I think, left without saying goodbye, I would be as concerned and put as much effort as I am for Oka. In fact, I've been around you longer now. You are my friend, and you're someone I care about, and you're someone I look up to, and I'm jealous of.
Jealous.
Yeah, you can heal people with magic. I can't heal people the way you can, and I'm jealous of you. I can say that. People
You shouldn't
like you
be
more.
jealous of me.
Why not?
Gentle, you don't know what I had to do to get this.
That's fair, but I don't. I feel like a lot of people think that I don't have as much faith in you all as I do. I trust you all so much. All of you have my entire heart because you're people I care about. I mean, that's why I helped you. Like, when you
You-
rounded that corner and I saw the fear in your eyes and like you looked scared, and I wasn't gonna just. I don't like standing up to Mercy, but I did for you because you're my friend.
You shouldn't have.
I was gonna. That's
That was so fucking stupid of me on so many levels. I cannot physically comprehend it.
it wasn't the best move. It feels like it was. It feels like it did more harm than good.
Yeah, so why are you jealous of me when I just fuck up like that constantly?
I mean, do you do that? I don't think you do that all the time. But also, you're just. I don't. I think you're cool and you're able to talk to people and you're a lot better at people than me. And I'm really bad at people and I feel alone a lot. And when I talk, like you're so good at this.
I'm good at lying, Gentle. I'm good at faking it. I'm good at pretending that I'm interested. I'm good at pretending that I am whatever you want me to be.
Are you interested in Jeron?
It doesn't matter. Because they're interested in Oka, and only Oka, it would seem.
You don't have to do that then.
Do what?
At the very least, Bud and I love you for who you are, and that's enough.
There's so much you don't know about me.
And you'll tell me when you're ready.
Will I?
I don't know. That's part of the mask. I let mine up for you. Maybe one day you'll let yours up for me, and if you don't, I understand, but every day I hope you will.
Why?
Because you're my friend.
How can you be friends with someone you don't really know?
I can just feel it in my gut. Sometimes I don't have to know things. I can just trust you.
Until that's how you get stabbed in the back.
Okay, I will.
And I think Sitlali just picks up their cards again and shuffles them with a new veracity.
Okay. And I think that's that scene. I think that's that scene. As Sitlali, you're like shuffling your cards, right? We're gonna like zoom in on like your thumbs going over like the edges of your tarot, right? And as we zoom out, we see that it's still you shuffling cards, but several days have passed, several nights. And instead of being sort of crouched down where you were before, I think you're in a different part of the campsite, and the terrain around you has changed, has shifted. It's become more rugged, more mountainous, more hilly, as opposed to like the wide, flat, open plateaus of southwestern Kirtal. And I think we find you sat around this campfire, and Mercy approaches. She approaches and sort of sits down and starts like, I think she's like clipping her nails. She sits down, she like pops her boots off, pulls down her socks and starts clipping her nails, right? Like just like clipping it into the fire, right? And like the loud like clip noises of the clipper going and like her toenails like pinging off of her toes and shooting into the fire. I think eventually maybe like draw a little bit of your ire and some of your attention. Hey, hope I'm not disturbing you.
You want to be careful not to leave anything behind when you do that.
What are you talking about? My nails
Plenty
are
of
biodegradable.
Plenty of magic can be used to scry on and do other sorts of things with
Is that what you're
people's-
gonna do? You're gonna take this chunk of my big toe and use it to spy on me in my tent, hmm? And she like holds up this chunk of toenail and starts like waving it in your face.
No, I think my eyes are big enough to just see you.
I bet they are. She throws it into the flames.
Better safe than sorry.
So Jeron,
What about him?
You know, don't make me ask, Sitlali. Don't make me say the words.
What about him?
Did you like it? I mean, I gotta know what all the rage is about if Oka and now you, and you as
Fuck
Oka.
you.
Hey, Sitlali, hey, I'm just joking. Seriously, how are you holding up?
They just kind of they don't throw their cards because they're nice cards, but they put their cards down firmly. I was like, they throw them down, and I'm like, wait, no, there's a fire. They set their cards down firmly. Just sort of. I'm fine. How are you?
I wasn't the one in his tent. Are you really fine?
Does it matter one way or the other?
Yes. Yes, it does. Because you're a cleric, and if you're compromised because of all this bullshit and you mess up on the field, so because of work, I have to know if you're fine.
For work, I'm fine.
Really? Is it the same kind of I'm fine as she makes like a vague spiraling motion with her finger and then points it at your chest in the quote unquote direction of your soul?
I'm fine, Mercy. Although you can help me out with something.
Oh boy, I don't like that tone of voice. That's the tone of voice you get when you've got an idea in your head. What is it?
Which X should we be prepping for?
Oh, I almost had Mercy say Jesus Christ. 3 heads. You don't have to worry about any of that, okay?
You've said that with every single one.
I've got my own shit going on and I know how to figure it out. Every time we've met one of my exes, I've figured it out.
We've figured it out.
Okay, maybe with some exception of Jikyat, okay? But she was a literal monster shapeshifter, okay? But I still would have figured it out, even if you hadn't come down there and quote-unquote rescued me.
I have a question.
Shoot. So
you have exes in, I'm assuming, every nation?
I wouldn't say every nation.
So every nation, understood. How do you avoid getting attached?
Huh. The answer's pretty simple. You leave. Before you get hurt.
And what if you can't leave?
Then you make them leave.
And what if they can't leave?
Are we talking about like a joined at birth situation here? What do you mean they can't leave?
Let's say that you have a contract and you're on the same job for an indefinite period of time, and they call the other people family, and so do you maybe, and you need to not be attached, and you need to not have the feelings that you're feeling about them. How do you bury those feelings, Mercy? Because you're really good at it. So, tell me.
That's me, Connie, laughing. Mercy looks at you with a really serious look on her face. And she says, there are 3 ways to bury that shit deep down. Booze, brawls, and babes. Get drunk, go fight something, fuck someone else. It's never failed for me.
Lolly sits back and thinks about that for a second.
I've got your booze right here. And she pulls out one of the, I think, beers that Jeron actually had brought, sets it down in front of you. I've got your bra right here if you want it. She rolls up her sleeves.
I don't think it'd be a fair fight.
No, but I'd hold back for you. I've got your babe right here too if you want.
Really?
I'm kidding, said Lolly.
Are you sure?
Out of character, are you kidding?
No.
Oh, so Sitlali's down. Sitlali is down.
Sequel series unlocked.
Oh my god. Are you flirting with her?
Yes.
Hold on. I need to make a fortune check. I don't even know what that roll means. How old are you, Sitlali, out of character?
28.
Oh, okay. Then Mercy looks at you and says, you're a little too young for me.
You're a little too old for me, but who's counting?
Oh my god. And she looks at you. And I think we're gonna cut away from that scene. I think it's gonna fade down. It's gonna be left ambiguous. It's gonna fade. The fire's gonna die down. The fire's gonna die down. and when the light comes back up, we find the 4 of you continuing to travel south, right? Following this irregular curvature of the Euclid chasm until you reach the Godspine, where you see mountains punching upward out of the earth, their craggy peaks cloaked in these thick plumes of mist. I'm still reeling, sorry. And you see that spring has been very kind to the Godspine. Verdant patches of forest pockmark the sides and the peaks of this mountain range, and your journey through its depths really isn't as terrible as it could have been. And after a week in the wilderness, you emerge in the scrublands of Talmud. Thick, dry grass colors the reddened earth as your party treks northwest along the heavenly road. The margins of your journey are populated by these beautifully painted, colorful, cone-shaped dwellings sculpted from sun-dried earth. You pass refugees and mercenaries on the road, those displaced by the vanishing and those taking advantage of it. And you wonder where you fit in all of that. And finally, you reach Davathati. The capital of the Republic of Talmud is a mountain stronghold built into the southern side of the Godspine. Looming well over 8,000 feet above sea level, the only way into Davathati is through one of the dozens of rope bridges stretching up and over the vast Kagunya Canyon. The bridges are packed to the gills with travelers and immigrants, but thanks to Mercy's swift maneuvering, your party manages to reach the other side of the canyon before nightfall. You walk through one of Davathati's 3 grand entrances, each one resembling the open mouth of a different head of Udabathi, the god of mountains and war. You stride through the orcish mouth of Suraksha, the head of protection, and you enter the capital proper, where the sound of the roar of waterfalls, the clamoring of market squares, the braying of animals greets you. The cataclysm has left its indelible mark on Davathati as well as everywhere else. You stride past encampments of hungry, unhoused people, past roped-off craters and broken, shattered buildings, past folks draped in these weird green robes, standing on boxes, preaching fervently to crowds that are, of these dirty, poor, disparaged folk, desperate for hope. Mercy leads your party past all of this until you reach the very back of the city. The Ujval mines. Throughout this entire sequence, I think Mercy has promised the three of you that she knows someone in Davathati who might be able to, shed some light about Sen's Paragon, et cetera, et cetera. She knows people, you're going to talk to them, right? She's got a lead, but she's been very shady about who the lead is. And when you reach the Ujval mines, you see hundreds and hundreds of tunnels drilled into the rock. There's a massive rock face that extends all the way up to the roof of Davathati, which is a couple hundred feet up into the air. And these hundreds of tunnels are buttressed by a complex system of ropes, pulleys, platforms, chutes, ladders, etc. And you see at ground level the workers' encampment sprawling outward, comprised of patchwork tents, wooden shacks, open fire pits, etc. You see miners lounging around, playing cards, cooking dinner, smoking, shooting the shit. And Mercy leads your party through this camp, ignoring the open stares from miners all around you. And she stops in front of one of many wooden shacks, right? Maybe big enough to fit 10 people in it. And she bangs on the door. Ravi! Open up, I know you're in there. And there's a beat. And then the door swings open, and you all see maybe 5 feet tall, an orca woman. She's orca folk. She's black and white, and she wears a little apron in front of a big belly, and she's got these big black eyes on either side of her face, and the eyes blink in surprise. And then her mouth cracks open with these orca-like teeth and a big smile. And she says, Mercy? Oh, listen, I can explain what— Mercy! And then this huge orca woman scoops Mercy up with both fins, right? Even though Mercy's much taller than her, but she scoops her up because she's really buff, actually, this orca woman, and she's crushing Mercy in this massive bear hug. And as Mercy's come on, hey, struggling in her grasp, we're gonna pan over to the three of you standing behind her. What do you do?
Hi. That's it.
Oh, hello there. Oh, you must be the new Hounds of Mercy. What? Mama Fish, that never gets old. Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Who might you be? I'm Mama Fish.
Hi, I'm Jeron, and Jeron kind of puts out their hand to shake Mama Fish's. Did you mention new Hounds of Mercy? So you met an older version of the band?
Oh, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And Mama Fish clasps both fins on either side of your hand. The fins are kind of wet. She shakes you very, very hard. Very, very nice to meet you. Why, yes. Oh, Mercy and I and Ravi and, well, I guess this was before Ibia's time. Well, we go way back. Actually, I was there to witness, the end of the very first version of the Hounds of Mercy. Oh, we don't have to talk about that. Mama Fish, where's Ravi? Oh, you didn't hear? No. Well, we heard about the rage, how there were riots in Davathati, not much else aside from that. Well, Ravi was caught up in the middle of all of that, but it's been a couple of weeks since she's in the med ward. What? Is she okay? Yes, she's recovering. She's stable, but whatever happened to her in the mines, it burned her up real bad. Like she got struck by lightning multiple times. Which is odd, because, in the tunnels there's no lightning. There can't be. Oh, but the rage was so weird, so maybe it was the rage. I see. Thank you, Mama Fish. Do you mind leading us to the med ward? Oh, of course, certainly. Here, have a fish stick. And Mama Fish pulls out some fish sticks and starts handing it to your party. Do you take a fish stick?
Oh, happily.
Okay, if you take a bite of Mama Fish's fish sticks, you will gain 1 temporary hit point. She leads your party through the encampment. She seems to know everyone here. She's like saying hello to people, like, oh yes, oh hi there, oh da, da, da. Oh, how's the kids? Oh, and like is moving you through the camp. And as she leads your group, Mercy turns to the three of you as you're walking and says, "Okay, we're gonna meet Ravi. Just keep your mouths shut. All right, let me do all the talking."
Is this an X?
Fine. You know what? Fine. If that helps you categorize all the various women I've met in my life, fine. I guess you could call her an X.
Is she going to try to kill you?
No. I don't. No, she won't.
Insight check.
Okay, anyone who wants to can roll an insight check on that.
I think Jeron is just like eating the fish stick and it's just kind of like, doesn't Sitlali normally do our talking for us?
Well, Sitlali doesn't know Ravi. And I think Jeron and Gentle, the two of you will notice that the vibes between Sitlali and Mercy have been kind of weird for maybe the past 2 weeks. Have been kind of weird.
Define weird.
On Mercy's side, it will be overly brisk, like professional, right? But like very brusque, and like will only refer to Sitlali when like she needs help navigating or like needs help like talking to a merchant that you met or something. And like when you join for like Hound's dinner, Hound's family dinner, Mercy will eat very fast and leave if Sitlali's there. How is it on Sitlali's side?
Just like everything on Sitlali's side, everything's fucking fine.
Okay.
Do you think that Jeron would be able to recognize Sitlali's reaction based off of their reaction to him?
Why don't you all just tell me what you got for your insight checks, and we'll use this for like general insight for the rest of this scene.
17.
3.
Okay, 3 from
That
Sitlali.
one, baby! I know nothing!
Ooh, we do have an auto crit on the board because we hit 150, and you all have at least 1 point of inspiration, just so you know.
I'll just use my point of inspiration. I won't steal the auto crit for this.
Okay.
Not much better. A 9.
Okay.
Take the auto crit.
Do I know anything with that 17?
I'm sorry, Sitlali, did you say you take the auto crit?
I'm telling Hamna to take the auto crit.
Oh.
Would you? Okay, I don't want to steal it from people, but if you'll let me have it, I'll take it.
Go ahead. This is a roleplay
All right.
heavy episode, so.
All right. I'll take the auto crit. Tell me what's the
Okay.
vibes. Vibe check.
Okay, Gentle and Jeron both roll really high because of that. So Jeron, you know everything. Jeron, you've been so busy traveling, I don't think you've gotten a chance to read the pulse of the party until now, right? Because it's been getting through the Godspine, getting on the road, you've been busy. But now, looking at Sitlali, looking at Mercy, trying to suss out what's happening. Oh my god. It clicks. Oh my god, they fucked. The puzzle piece slides into place. It
You know
clicks
you
for
couldn't use that.
Right. Okay.
Gentle, you don't get that, but you do get that something really intense transpired between Mercy and Sitlali, and neither of them are talking about it. Based on how they're treating each other, it almost feels like a really big argument or something. As regards what instigated all of this, the insight check into Mercy. is she seems to be telling the truth about Ravi. And it also seems like she's not quite sure where she stands with Ravi currently. But it's not like Selim, like kill on sight.
I mean, Ravi's also presumably in the hospital, so like theoretically, how much damage could she do, right?
Remember that time that the first ex was like a demigod?
Yeah.
Trust no bitch.
Okay. I think with all of this percolating in your brain, Jeron, maybe you're like, oh my god. Keep between these two. You finally reach like the med ward, which is a series of tents, I think, a little bit separate from the main encampment. That smells like medicine, and it smells like camphor, and it smells like all of these various herbal remedies, and it also smells a little bit like death. People are dying here, right? This is where the sick and dying go. And Orca Lady, Mama Fish, leads you all to a specific tent, where she pauses outside of it and says, just one moment. And she sticks her head in and says, Ravi, you have visitors. Oh, who? It's, Don't tell her who, just say it's an old friend.
Oh, okay. It's an old friend, and she's brought 3 other friends who are new friends. I hope we can all be friends. Okay, great.
And Mama Fish pulls her head out and says,
Ravi says come in.
All right. Thanks, Mama Fish. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Mercy. It's always a pleasure to have you here in the Three-Headed City. Well, I better go. I think Ibia needs my help with something. I have to take care of her.
I understand. Yeah, go do what you have to do.
All right. Toodaloo. It was nice to meet the 3 of you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. And she kisses all 3 of your heads. With a big wet orca kiss.
I think Jeron, before Mama Fish leaves, just says like, I need to know the recipe to those fish sticks before I leave.
Oh, well, here it is.
And she whispers it to you. She whispers a most delicious recipe in your ear. She says,
but the most important ingredient is love.
Lolly pretends to gag.
Well, I love you too, darling. Mwah! You're so handsome. Ooh, I bet all the ladies are falling for you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
And she turns and waddles away. Okay, that woman is insufferable. We ready?
She's really nice, and yeah.
All right, like I said, don't say anything. Mercy ducks her tall frame to get under the tent and strides inside, and you follow.
Lily coughs and says anything.
She shoots you a glare over her shoulder, but doesn't say anything to that. And the 3 of you enter into a tent that's maybe the size of a 1-bedroom apartment, for lack of a better way of describing space. And there's like a cot. It's sort of like in the center of everything with like a bunch of like there's like a rug on the ground, and there are like these like wardrobes and these like tables, right? And you see like leaned up on the cot is a woman, a hobgoblin woman. She's got crutches nearby, leaning like against like a nightstand. She's got this like dark red skin. Excuse me, sorry, no. She has this golden skin crisscrossed with these like angry looking red scars, right? And even though it appears that she's been in the med ward for a while, she's still kind of covered in soot from the mines. And she's got this like tangled black hair that's sort of cut short at the jaw. And even just sitting in the cot, you know, she's not that tall. She looks really heavily muscled. And she's just covered in tattoos, right? Like tattoos of weapons. Like on one arm, it's like a longsword tattoo. On another, it's like a hatchet. On like, you know, on her exposed like, you know, like throat, it's what's the thing that, oh my god, warrior princess Xena wields? Like the bladed circles. She's got that tattooed around her neck. Like a bladed, like, throne circle, like, around her neck, etc. And this hobgoblin woman, you assume, is Ravi. Don't give me that look, Sitlali. That look of hot MILF alert. That hot MILF alert look. Mercy says, Ravi. And Ravi looks up at Mercy and says, Mercy, what are you doing here? I need your help. Help. It was kind of rude for you to ask for my help without even introducing me to what I assume are your new hounds. Jeron, Sitlali, gentle. Meet Ravi. Ravi, meet Jeron, Sitlali, gentle. Are they mice? Can't you speak?
We've been asked not to.
Of course you have. Listen, I just think it's easier if we can it. And Ravi, whose voice is somehow even gruffer and deeper than Mercy's, like pushes herself up into like a more formal sitting position. If you're here for Oka, they're already gone. Good thing we're not here for Oka. We're here for something else. Are you now? I find that difficult to believe. What are you here for? Ravi, you're the only person I can think of who would know anything more than me about monsters, about how to hunt them, about the divine, about what's happened after the cataclysm. Go on. What do you know about paragons? Specifically Sen's paragon. And at that, Ravi goes really quiet. And as she goes quiet, you have a longer chance to take in her physical appearance. You notice that she's actually a part of her face is like wrapped in bandages. And as she like pulls the covers off herself, you see that her legs are wrapped up, and like the exposed skin is also shot through with more recent scarring that looks like burn marks or something, or like she's been charred, or like Mama Fish said, like struck by lightning multiple times. Right? She looks pretty fucked up, right? But stable and recovering, but still kind of fucked up. It's funny that you ask, Mercy. Recent events have opened my eyes to the possibility of such things. What happened to you, Ravi? Why are you burned? What happened in the mines? What happened with the rage we've been hearing about? You wouldn't believe me even if I told you. Can they be trusted? Yes. Yes, they can. Okay, then. How do I put this? Vinash was inside of me. What? You mean, with like, not in a sexual way, Mercy. Vinash, the aspect of Davathati that embodies destruction. Vinash, one of the 3 heads of the 3-headed god of war and mountains. Vinash, an echo of him anyway, was inside of me. The gods, they're not gone. They're just severed. Trapped in the now. Echoes of themselves bleeding out. Yeah, how did you know that? Long story. What do you mean Vinash was... when did you... Alright, settle in. I'm about to tell you what happened. And I think if it's okay with y'all, we can take another break, right? Before coming back to this. So on the cusp of Ravi telling the story of Vinash and the rage and Vinash being inside of her, we're going to take another quick 10-minute break and then come back and wrap up this episode. So everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. We will be back in 10, about 26 minutes past the hour. We love y'all so much. We'll be back soon. Shpeesh. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to part 3 of episode 3 of the Hounds of Mercy versus Andake the Hunter. Before we hop back in, just a reminder of content warnings for this episode and this entire series may include fantasy violence, monsters and body horror, blood and bloodletting, addiction and substance use, romance and flirting acted out on screen, references to romantic and sexual entanglements, toxic relationships, shitty people, environmental disasters, refugees and displacement, and apocalyptic events. Use exclamation point CW at any time to get a list of these content warnings in chat because this can be a heavy series. So, hopping right back into the session. Ravi tells her tale. And by the end of it, I think all of you are like sat around this cot, like you've pulled up chairs, you're listening, you're enraptured because it is a tale of divine wrath and apocalypse and violence and fury and fear and desperation. And the final thing Ravi says before she sort of falls silent is, and then Oka took it. Oka took Vinash right into their soul, right into their body. And for some reason, they were able to contain it, even though I couldn't.
Are they a paragon?
You can roll well, we can keep I said you could keep your insight roll. So I guess you can keep your nat 20 insight roll.
Do I keep my
on
crit?
Ravi. Yeah, that's what I said. So yes, I'm not going to go back on it. Yeah. With your natural 20 insight roll onto Ravi's face, something flickers over the part that's not obscured by these bandages. And it seems to be like you get the feeling that she has the answer to that question, but she's not saying anything about it.
Ravi, what do you know?
I know that Vinash is wrong for Oka. They're able to contain him, but they're not the right vessel. It's one of the last things I remember before my whole world went black. This god's voice saying, not my paragon, but you'll do.
You can have a bad paragon, like a mismatched one.
You could put on shoes that don't belong to you.
I mean, these aren't shoes, these are souls, but I understand.
Souls. Sorry, I just had to say it.
So then, Oka is a different god's paragon. What? How?
I don't know. But Jeron, you can tell she does know. She has a hunch, but she's purposefully keeping it from the three of you.
Can I tell why she's hiding it from us? Or like any inclination as to why?
Yeah, it's out of respect for Oka. She has a feeling it's not her story to tell.
Valid. In which case I don't think Jeron presses the issue.
Okay. This is ridiculous. We came here looking for Sen's paragon, and what do we find? Some story, some fairy tale story about Vinash and Oka, and I'm not lying, Mercy. I'm telling the truth. This happened, and it's real. What are we supposed to do with this information? I don't know. Do what you will. That's what you've always done, hasn't it? March to the beat of your own drum, at the expense of all else. I'm not gonna get into this with you, Ravi. You got into this with me the moment you stepped through that tent flap. Why is that one raising their hand? They do that when they want to talk. What is it, Gentle?
I mean, if Oka has the potential to hold on to a bad soul, finding Oka may mean we might find a paragon, then? That that makes sense in my head, right? Does that make sense for anyone else? Sort of look to the room for validation.
Fuck, Gentle, are you suggesting that finding Oka is our best chance of finding Sen's Paragon?
If we know one person who could do it.
I am gonna nip that shit in the bud. No. We're not going on some wild fucking goose chase looking for Oka out of the harebrained idea that they might point us in the direction of Sen's Paragon. Why aren't you listening to your hounds, Mercy? They're making a good point. I'm not listening to them because their ideas... because I'm the leader here, okay? And what I say goes. No, we're not looking for Oka. We're gonna follow the water wherever it takes us.
Mercy,
What?
a moment, please.
Said Lolly, whatever it is you want to talk to me about, you can say in front of everyone else, can't you?
I suppose. And I'll turn to address Ravi and not Mercy. Your wounds, how have they been tended to?
All the clerics of Davathati here have lost their power. They've lost their connection to their god. So, I'm healing up the old-fashioned way.
And from looking at it, can I tell, like, if it's within my wheelhouse to heal, or if because it's divine, it's, like, too much TM?
Whoever wants to can make a medicine check
Ooh.
to discern that.
That is a natural 20. So
Oh, nice.
28.
Gentle?
All right, let me do some math real quick. That's a 9. Of course.
Nice. Sitlali, you can tell it's pretty intense. She's definitely gonna scar, but you will be able to expedite the healing process with your magic significantly. Okay. And so will Gentle.
So then I'm going to put a hand on my holy symbol that is still under my, like, dress.
Okay.
And just too lonely. Just, can you not fuck up for me, please?
I live to help you.
Good. And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at level 3.
Okay. How do you put your hand on your holy symbol? Do you touch Ravi?
I think I will ask first. So I have my hand on my holy symbol. I get I allegedly won't fuck you. And I just sort of... With that, can you... Don't ask a lot of questions, but can I try something?
You know, a lot of people have asked me that question, and it's not always led to the best result. What are you trying to do?
Heal you up a little bit faster.
You keep your magic.
Like I said, no questions.
Fuck it. Why not? Go ahead.
So I'll come over and I'll try to find, like, one of a less injured area.
Okay.
Put my hand on it and then cast it.
Yeah. So as this healing magic starts stitching Ravi up, why don't you roll for how much you heal? All of you see, like, the burns start, like, accelerating and healing. You know what I mean? It's almost like Sitlali is like moving the clock forward and, like, helping, like, Ravi's natural processes speed up, right? And Ravi's, like, looking down in amazement at, like, the wounds on her body starting to like scab over, and it definitely still scars by the end of it. But she doesn't look like nearly as bad as she did when you first walked in. I can't believe this. Well, you said no questions. Thank you.
You're welcome. Raven Queen bless.
Amazing. I thought all the clerics of Davathati were out of juice. It's just those chrysalis nut jobs. But I'll eat my own hand before I let one of those freaks patch me up. You
What
haven't
are they?
heard.
What's their deal?
They're a bunch of cultists, if you ask me. They worship this entity known as the chrysalis. You've probably seen them on your way in. Green-robed freaks preaching on their soapboxes.
Yeah.
They claim that the gods leaving is a good thing, that the cataclysm is a blessing, and that those that worship the chrysalis, their holy non-god, will be able to achieve the perfect body they've always wanted.
I see.
Did you say that they retain their magic?
Yes, that's the worst part about all of it. I don't know through whatever dark pact they forge or whatever trickery they're employing to keep it, but the priests and priestesses and clerics of the chrysalis have kept their magic.
I think Jeron just kind of looks, not pointedly, but just kind of looks at Sitlali questioningly, wondering if maybe she has done the same thing that the chrysalis, that the people who work or are part of the chrysalis have done.
Anyway, thank you for showing off the fact that you still have magic, Sitlali. The point stands. We're following the water, not Oka.
Have you considered, Mercy, that the water might be following Oka?
That's a ridiculous notion, Sitlali, and you'd do well to put that notion to bed.
When's
mean-
the last
Go ahead, Gentle.
When's the last time you did the water ritual?
Probably, I don't know, 10 days ago?
You
Doesn't
should
it lead
probably
us-
do
supply.
that more often.
Didn't it lead us here,
It did?
where Oka was?
I see what you're getting at, Sitlali, and it's not going to work. I refuse to believe. Why do you refuse to believe, Mercy, that looking for Oka might be a good idea? Because they left, okay? They left the hounds, they're not coming back, and I think that if we keep up this ghost hunt, it's bad for morale, it's bad for our mission, it's bad for everything that the hounds care about. Really? Is that what you think? Well, you know what, Mercy? Since you're here, and Ravi sort of like pulls herself up like a bit fuller, and she's looking between Mercy and you, Sitlali, and you get the sense that as she's like looking between the two of you, that she's sort of reading some of the things that Jeron has already picked up on, right? Ravi sort of like pushing herself up, and Mercy crosses her arms defensively as Ravi says, "You know what? I found Oka bleeding out in a hole in the Badlands, and I took them in, and I taught them how to turn pain into power. Some people never know how to stop bleeding, so I don't try to suture that wound, Mercy. I honor it. I fed them. I gave them a job. I raised them. And when they wanted to seek their own destiny, where did I send them? You. I trusted you, Mercy. You think you're so fucking perfect. I trusted you to take care of them, to listen, to do the goddamn work. But you fucked it all up. You undid everything. You say you collect broken things, broken people, Mercy. And at that, she jerks her head towards Sitlali specifically. No. You collect fragile objects, and then you smash them, so they'll never leave. But they left. Mercy. Oka left.
And if they know what's good for them, they'll never come back.
I think Jeron stands up and kind of angrily is looking at Ravi. Back off. For once, I actually agree with Mercy here. Oka did leave, and they didn't just leave Mercy. They left all of us without so much as a word. So I really, really don't think that you understand the full situation here.
I don't understand the full situation, Dragon Boy. I don't.
I stand up as well, and I tend to be the Oka defender in the room, but maybe there's more to the story that we don't know necessarily. And I'm looking down a lot to not make eye contact with anyone, but especially Jeron. But I think maybe we should just test it, and if it's pointing a different direction, then maybe fine. We can all agree that we'll move past it for now. But if it's still pointing in the direction that Oka went, maybe there's a reason, and maybe that reason is closure or friendship or something, but maybe what we're doing is important for a reason. Sorry. And I sit back down.
Mercy stands there, looking at Ravi, who this entire time, their eyes are just locked on each other, right? And they're just, staring each other down. And without a word, Mercy reaches into her pack, pulls out the vial of Unmei's water, and hands it to you, Gentle. And then she turns around and she leaves.
I follow.
Is there a way to do this?
Gentle, you've seen Mercy do it multiple times, so I think you can probably learn how to do the special magic water thing.
As long as it's okay, that's fine. I was just worried it was something that only Mercy could do.
No. I think you'll be able to do it. Yeah. Okay. Sitlali, you follow Mercy out. Gentle, I assume you stay in here with Ravi to do the water thing. What about you, Jeron?
Jeron is very curious about the idea of Sen's Paragon being Oka, and I think they will stay to see the outcome of the ritual and are hoping to all of the 8 that please do not be in the same direction, please.
Okay, let's resolve that first. So, Gentle, you pull out the vial, you uncork it, you drop the water onto a flat surface, and you and Jeron and Ravi, she's there, she watches as well, look as this water begins to vibrate, right? And as it starts to form a direction, Ravi says, "Last I heard, they were going in the direction of the court." And the water swivels and points northwest toward the court.
For fuck's sake. Oh.
We cut outside to Sitlali and Mercy. Mercy's just sort of stood outside. She's smoking a cigarette outside of Ravi's tent, and she's just wordlessly smoking it.
Can I bum one?
And Mercy just hands you another cigarette.
Got a light or?
Mercy turns around, looks down at you as you're holding the cigarette out. And she leans down and she lights your end of the cigarette with hers.
Mm-hmm. And I think we smoke in silence for a hot second. And then, you okay?
I've known Ravi since we were 13. She really knows how to just say the things that get to you.
Is that where you get it?
Yeah, maybe. We've known each other for a long time, Sitlali. Longer than I think is healthy.
Yeah. I get that.
She can be such a dick, though.
I don't think that's where you got that, though.
No, I didn't get my dicks from Ravi.
Not what I meant, and you know it, but,
Yeah, what would you know about that?
I take a very long drag of my cigarette.
Fuck. I don't know. Maybe she's right. Maybe that is what I do. Collect fragile objects and break them. So they'll depend on me.
I think... Fuck it. Sitlali is gonna push Mercy up against the wall.
Okay.
I might be a little fragile, but you will never break me. Do you understand?
Okay. Ooh. What is this? Thirsty sword lesbians? My god. Okay. Mercy looks down at you. Okay. Mercy looks down at you and she smirks and says, well, I'll have a lot of fun trying. Listen, about 2 weeks ago. I shouldn't have. It was inappropriate.
Yes, that was the point.
It shouldn't ever happen again. And as she speaks, she is pulling you in.
Never again? Never is such a strong word, Mercy. I am allowing myself to be pulled back in.
Yeah, okay. yeah. And I think as she's like pulling you in, she says, well, you strike me as someone who needs some strong words sometimes. And she's, I think, we don't have to get explicit here, but as that scene is playing out, I think we could cut back to inside the med ward with a bandaged up, fucked up Ravi, next to Jeron and Gentle, looking at the results of the water.
Can we, Connie? I don't know if we can.
I don't know, listen here.
I've aged 70 years tonight, folks.
Oh my
I'm
god!
so sorry, Dare. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I'm doing great.
I hate that I love it.
Oh my god.
Oh, get help, everyone. Everyone
my God.
listening, get help.
I mean, how do I even continue GMing this? Where does this even go?
I don't know.
Plot needs to happen. That's my job. I have to make plot happen. Okay. I forgot
A lot
my
of
job
plot
for a second.
happened.
Well, a lot of things happened. Oh my god. This rarely happens, folks. I'm stumped for how to continue because but our lines and veils are fade to black. So I think okay. I have an idea. Okay. Sorry. This has never happened to me.
I have
GMing
never
before.
seen you.
I'm so sorry that we broke you.
No,
This is incredible.
it's fine. This is like
I deserve
Listen.
a medal.
You do. Listen, I am a professional GM. I like do this shit as like my day job, like this, and on stream, this has never happened to me before. So I think what happens is, all right, I'm gonna retcon. I'm gonna walk some of that stuff back. We're not gonna cut back into the tent. We find Sitlali and Mercy outside of the med ward again, and Mercy is gonna pull you in on that, and then she's gonna sort of spin you around. And I don't think it's a wall. I think it's like a pole, right? Because I don't think there are any walls in this encampment. It's a pole nearby. She spins you around, and kind of pins you against the pole, right? But so that your chest is against it, and so you're facing away from her. And she just sort of leans in, and mutters a time, in your ear. She just says, 9 o'clock. Don't be late.
Mine
And
are
she
yours.
Mine. And she lets go of you. And she strides back into the med tent.
That Lolly's gonna hang back and finish their cigarette.
All right. Where's the water? Huh, that's an interesting direction.
Yeah, it's where Oka is right now.
Great fucking 8. Is this your idea of a joke, Davathati? Is this your idea of some sort of divine jest you're laying upon me? You know what? Fine. What is it, gentle?
Maybe it's a sign saying you shouldn't give up on your friends. I look very satisfied as I say that.
Oh my god. Do you have your mask on, gentle, when you say that?
I think I will make sure that I'm just enough of the smiles pointing through.
Fine. The court. I guess that's next on our destination list. Ravi, a pleasure as always to see you. A pleasure as always to see you as well, Mercy. I hope you take my words personally. How could I not? And just as a reminder, some people really are too young for you. I don't know what you're talking about. Jeron, gentle, let's try to find a place to shack up for the night.
Yeah, I'll catch up with you.
All right. Ravi, I hope you recover without too many scars making you butt ugly. Bye. And Mercy is gonna turn and leave. Ravi's just gonna mutter under her breath. And I mean, stay in her bed because she can't go anywhere else. So Mercy's gonna re-exit. Jeron, you're gonna stay behind. What about you, gentle?
Oh, I don't know where I belong right now. I don't know where Gentle belongs right now, honestly. I think that last line was enough for the math to start mathing in their head all the way through.
Oh boy.
I think that was enough. That was the final like piece of like like the slots is like 777, like oh no. I think I'll just go hang out with Jeron. I'm lost. That's a good move to do when I'm lost. I've probably done that a million times.
Okay. So Jeron, was there something you wanted to ask Ravi in particular, or were you just okay? Yeah. So go. You can do that now if you want.
Yeah, I think as presumably like Sitlali and Mercy have left to do whatever it is that they do. Yeah, my reaction. Jeron is going to sort of like maybe pull up like a chair next to Ravi and sit down in it. Ravi, you clearly know Oka very well. I don't know if they've mentioned me at all, but I thought I knew them well too. I have to ask, how are they?
A pause. And Ravi says, all things considered, they're okay. They have new friends now. Friends I think that they care about. Friends who care about them.
Did they ever talk about us? Any of us?
They visited me here before they left, and we talked about a lot of things. They talked about you.
What about me?
I don't think I'm at liberty to say, Jeron, but what I can say is this. They haven't forgotten you. They're doing this thing. They're traveling because they have to. They've got it in their head that they can save the world. And I think, deep down, they think that means they can save themselves.
Of course, Oka thinks that they can save the world. Honestly, out of everyone I know, maybe Oka's the only one who can. But they haven't contacted any of us. They haven't contacted me since they left, and it's just I don't understand why this journey that they're on, this whole thing, why I don't get it.
Listen, my friend, I don't get it either. But I have a feeling that they think this is their destiny, or that the threads of fate are just weaving the world in such a way that for now, the two of you have to be apart. But that's the middle of the story, Jeron. It's not the ending.
Destiny might keep us apart, but it doesn't make these choices for you.
Exactly. There are some people in our lives who come into our world for a little bit, they light it up, they leave, and they never come back. There are some people who stay with you forever. There are some people who stay with you until the end, some people who you don't meet until the end. I think it's up to you, and fate, and Oka, to decide what that's gonna look like for the two of you.
Would be a lot easier making that decision if they were around here to make it.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, I guess if they're okay, I guess that's good, I think. I'm glad that at least they had you.
They're outgrowing me, what can I say? I was able to give them one of these. This one, actually. And she raises her hand and indicates the longsword tattooed to her left forearm.
Do you do that? Give people tattoos?
Special tattoos for special people. Stand back.
And they do.
You too. And the two of you feel the weave tighten around Ravi, and then bing, like strings being plucked, as surging out of the tattoo is a longsword that just sort of like rips out of her arm, rising up with her blood, and then it solidifies in this this black blade, right? Like the tattoo comes to life. And she sort of flexes her arm and turns it side to side and then lets go of the magic. And the weave, which was sort of pulled tight, sort of slackens as this blood sinks back into her body. Each of these tattoos on my body are blood weapons.
I can conjure at will.
Can you make that for other people?
Yes, but you have to be trained in blood hunting. If I just tattooed it onto you, I would corrode your blood.
That is definitely something. I suppose maybe one day I'll have to get Oka to teach me how to do that. If I don't kill them first.
If and when you catch up to them, hey, tell them Ravi sends her love.
I will. Again, though, if I don't kill them first.
I won't let you kill them.
Gentle, you can let me have this one thing, can't you?
You like fight a little, but not kill. Just a little fighting.
What's the point of the fight if there's no risk?
No, you've been listening to Mercy too much.
She's right sometimes.
Not as much as you all think. Gentle just looks tired.
The two of you look exhausted. You should probably go check into the Harpy hostel. Good rates, good beds.
Thank you for
You're
everything.
welcome. Thank you for coming here. It's good to talk to people about this stuff, I think. People that I know I can trust. As much as I have issues with Mercy, if she trusts someone, I know I can trust them too.
I like that.
Yeah, we go way back.
Yeah, that much is apparent. But if you ever need anything, I mean, presumably you know how to contact Mercy, so
Yeah,
let us know.
will do. And hey, she's and Ravi gestures toward her abdomen. Ticklish right here,
Oh my god, really?
just so you know.
Okay. Anywhere else?
I'm not gonna tell you that.
That's fine. That's enough
Yep.
information. Thanks,
Okay.
Ravi.
Yep. Have a good night, the two of you. Welcome to Davathati.
And I think we leave.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think you do. And I think as you exit, you see that pole that not a few minutes ago Mercy had pinned Sitlali against. And I think there's a note, if it's okay with you, Sitlali, on the pole that basically has information like in Mercy's handwriting that basically says like Sitlali and I are checking in early at like the Harpy hotel, like the Harpy hostel, right? Like meet us there. We're gonna just like get drinks or something. We're gonna like dick around Davathati before then, right? I think that's the note. And I think we can cut to like a shitty, seedy dive bar somewhere in Davathati Suraksha district, right? And it's just like, it like smells like there's like hookah smoke in the air. Like there's like all sorts of like drinks getting slung around. It's like a darkened tavern. There's like all sorts of like colorful figures and characters in this bar. And we find Sitlali and Mercy, right? Sitlali, tell me, do you have a corner booth or are you at the bar?
Corner booth.
Okay, you're
What do I
holed
look
up
like to
together.
you?
Yep, in a corner booth, and Mercy is drinking a big frothy mug of scorpion beer.
I think Sitlali. Oh, what drink does Sitlali have?
Is it fruity or is it like
No.
bourbon?
Whatever is the closest to gin, I think it's gin.
Oh, just straight gin.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's gin then.
Yeah.
You've got a glass of just straight gin. And Mercy's got gay gin, let's say. And Mercy's got the scorpion beer. And she's laughing, I think, and like talking to you about stuff, right? And like cracking jokes and like swigging at her beer. And like as the night goes on, she like inches closer and closer to you, I think, and like the two of you are just talking. And I think during the scene, Mercy just says, "Excuse me, I'll be right back." And she gets up to like use the bathroom or something, leaving you. I think you have a moment alone. And you're tucked away in this corner booth watching everything, but you're alone. Like no one else disturbs you, no one else looks at you. You've just sort of like disappeared into the crowd here. You have a moment by yourself.
I think I take a big swig of gin and let that bite sink in. And then I think to that little part of myself that's not quite myself. So how do you feel about that happening?
Temptations of the flesh are temporary. My love for you is forever.
I have two hands.
And I have four, all of which I use to caress you.
I think Sitlali's a little. I think Sitlali's a little drunk. Not super, but like tipsy, you know. And I think they've been thinking about this a lot. So I think they just kind of they get kind of serious for a minute. They just say, "Hey, lonely."
Yes.
Would you tell me if I was the paragon of the Raven Queen?
Of course. Why do you ask?
Because they're clearly real and things are happening, and I took you in and I've had a natural affiliation for this sort of thing and the divinity my entire life, and everyone always said that would be my... It makes sense, doesn't it?
You are special, Sitlali. My bond with you and your ability to have this bond with me makes you special.
Is that a yes?
It is not a no.
Can you feel her, or will we have to be closer to the courts for that?
Closer to the courts, closer to the seat of her power, so that I might have some more, and you might find out your true destiny.
Destiny. I do like the sound of that.
Do you trust me?
Yes.
I trust you too.
I should hope so. I let you into my fucking body.
Be careful what you let inside your body, Sitlali. Not ever. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Okay, I completely hold on. Not everyone has intentions as pure as mine for you.
What, do you think we couldn't handle her if we needed to?
The Raven Queen knows who I am. She knows what I am. I am one of her children. She loves me. She loves you too, Sidlali. Unconditionally. Can you say that for the rest of them?
Suppose not. What are you suggesting we stay with the courts when we get there? If we get there.
I suggest you go where destiny calls. You do not owe these people, these mortals, these regular folk, anything. You are destined for greatness, Sitlali, so long as you stay with me in your soul. These people, they will never understand you like I understand you. Your bonds with life are fleeting. Death conquers all.
That is true. But, I mean, that doesn't mean we can while we're alive, does it?
Have your fun while you're here, but do not lose sight of your destiny, and do not let them pull you from what is yours.
Of course. Are they? Is she? Can we keep Mercy?
As a pet, or as something more?
Either. I don't know that I'm picky.
Your wish is my command.
I think they take a very self-satisfied sip of gin.
I think you do. And I think Mercy returns with a tray of shots for the two of you. I think the shots are special. They're like dyed black. right? With like little like pink like floating ice cubes in it. And she says, look what they had. I asked for them to put some dye in this because it's like your eyes.
Adorable.
Here.
I'll take one. I'll raise it.
She raises it too.
To us?
Fuck it. To us. And to what's gonna happen later tonight. And she clinks the shot glass against yours and downs it.
You're quite prepared for what's going to happen tonight. And I down mine.
Oh, aren't I? Please, enlighten me.
And I look around conspiratorially. And I just kind of lean in. Have you considered that I might be a paragon of the Raven Queen?
She coughs on her shot. What? Sithali, don't be. That's a funny joke. You're joking, right?
No.
Listen, I don't know what makes paragons. I don't know. Maybe it's the drink talking. Maybe it's just the fact that we're in fucking Davathati and I saw Ravi for the first time in years, or whatever it is. But you know what? Fuck it. Maybe you are. Maybe you are the paragon of the Raven Queen. Who knows? I mean, you're able to use your magic, aren't you?
I am. How many people can say that after the cataclysm?
That's true. You know what they say about people with a lot of power and a lot of strength, though, right? Paragons included. What they really want is for someone to take control for them.
Suppose that could be a nice precursor.
And she shoves another drink in your hand. If you'll take it. Not gonna force you to drink, obviously.
I do.
Okay. She picks up a shot glass, downs it again, and I think we're gonna pull out of like this corner booth of the two of you flirting horribly with each other, like just truly chaotic flirting with each other, pulling out of like this like venue of all these people like drinking and making merry in the apocalypse, because god damn it, when's a better time to drink than when the world has ended? Right, we're gonna pull out of this like shitty dive bar, right? Pull out onto the street where I think maybe we see like Jeron and Gentle walking next to each other, headed toward the Harpy Hotel, like oblivious to what's happening in the bar they're passing, right? Like to check into this hostel. We're gonna pull out of Davathati where we see all these people, the three districts, Thristi, Saraksha, Vinash, right? Like all lined up against each other. Pull out of where we see the mines in the back with Mama Fish tending to Ravi's wounds. We're gonna pull out of this and slowly fade out on episode 3 of the Hounds of Mercy. On that. So thank you everybody for tuning into episode 3 of the Hounds of Mercy, The Hunter. I have been your GM and executive producer, Connie Chong. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me on Twitter and Itch and Patreon at by Connie Chong. When I'm not doing this, I am GMing Transplanar RPG's main campaign, which I promise is probably 200% less horny than this miniseries. We stream Saturdays at 3 p.m. US Central Time. Arc 3 episode 4 or something like that. Arc 4 episode 3, sorry, is airing this Saturday. That's October 2nd, I believe. October 2nd at 3 p.m. US Central Time. So tune in for that. Follow us if you haven't already on Twitch. I'm going to pass along our introductions to Dare.
Hi, I'm the desiccated husk that was NB Dare. Hi, I'm Dare. Pronouns they, she, he. Mix them all up. That's fine. You can find me on TikTok and Twitter at NB Dare. That's ENBYDARE. If you happen to want to support me, if you believe I have been a victim by simply being in this room tonight, please check out Die Hard Dice and use the promo code NB Dare for 10% off. Or check out one of my many games I've made on my itch page at nbdare.itch.io. My personal favorite is my game When the Sun Dies, which is a game about the end of the world in 3 days. It's very good, very fun, very sad. In terms of places I'll be, This Thursday, I will be doing a little bit of Eberron with Dead Metrol. We're finishing up that thing. I made a guest appearance in the beginning. I'll be there for the last 2 episodes. And Saturday, for real this time, I promise, The Unremarkable should be going live with its very first episode, and I get to be a disaster girl of a legacy. So watch me be an angry trans girl, but like as a character, not just as Dare. I'll pass it off to Quinn.
Oh, I'm Quinn. My pronouns are they, she. I have been your resident problem maker tonight, and will continue to do so for a while. You can find me on Twitter at Quintastic_, that's with 3 N's. That has my schedule, because I have the memory of a goldfish, and I can't remember it. And links to buy my games. I make games, that's the thing that I do. I am told that I do it. I'm a sensitivity reader. Hire me for that. Hire me. You want to hire me. Yes, I do stuff and also things. Hamna.
Hello, I am Humna. I use any and all pronouns, and today I feel like I shouldn't have been on camera. I don't know. That was like too much, and like I had to pretend to not be. Yeah, it was a lot. Thanks, Connie. Yeah, I'm just simping way too hard for everything that's happening. Anyway, I am a TTRPG performer. You can find me on Twitter at @HShine_, where I talk about all of the different projects I'm a part of that are significantly less horny than this one, I think. The next place that you can find me is on Monday. I will be on the Follow Black Cats channel to play Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, where I play somebody who is interested in learning more about Cthulhu, but is now a rival with somebody who's trying to release Cthulhu. Super fun. That's another player on the campaign Noir. It's going to be like a great time. We actually have our finale on Monday, so if you want to come see everything blow up, you should come join. And I will pass it back to Connie.
Okay, friends, we're gonna raid someone. We're gonna raid Jude, also known as Mermaid Royale. They're playing Among Us right now, so I'm gonna start that raid. Use our raid message. I'm pretty sure Awoka, which is the emoji that comes after the raid message, is follow only. So just copy and paste the text and put in a different kind of Transplanar emote that's actually available in Jude's channel to you if you're a subscriber. Otherwise, you don't have to use an emote. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We love you all so much. I feel like every Hounds episode is like, who's gonna be the most toxic hound, right? And it rotates. So I feel like it's gonna be Gentle. It's your turn. It's gonna be Gentle soon. I'm calling it. Gentle's gonna come up.
I'm tired of being nice.
You're pushed to the edge by all this horny bullshit. Okay, thank you all so much for tuning in. We miss Analia. Tell Jude hello. Drop Jude a follow, even if he can't stay. Just lurk and tell Jude hello. We love you all so much. See you Saturday, Tuesday, and every other day of the week for all of these amazing people's various projects and streams. Peace.